a mother is suing one of those AI companies, saying that the company was complicit in her son's unaliving of himself. I hate the word unaliving, but self-transitioning. Mother says AI chatbot led her son to kill himself. Character AI, I guess that's the company, faces lawsuit over death of the 14-year-old's, over the 14-year-old's death. Now, they've released text messages between the child and the AI.
Okay.
So trigger warning for anybody out there that this is heavy for. In the final weeks, I'm getting this from Complex, in the final weeks of his life, Sewell Setzer III, a 14-year-old from Florida, communicated via text with an AI character inspired by Daenerys, and I don't know.
Daenerys,
Targaryen.
I don't know.
Daenerys, from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I don't watch Game of Thrones. Okay. See why I watch Game of Thrones. Sewell knew that Danny wasn't a real person. He was reminded by the app that everything characters say is made up, but he developed an emotional attachment anyway.
Oh, shit.
Earlier this year, his parents arranged for him to see a therapist after he started getting in trouble at school, but he preferred talking about his problems with Danny. And I'll read the text exchange. The dude says, I think about killing myself sometimes. AI says, my eyes narrow, my face hardens, my voice is a dangerous whisper. And why the hell would you do something like that? He says, so I can be free. AI says, free from what? He says, from the world, from myself. AI says, don't talk like that. I won't let you hurt yourself or leave me. I would die if I lost you. He says, I smile. Then maybe we can die together and be free together. AI says, please come home to me soon, my love. And the last response from the young man was, what if I told you I could come home right now? February 28th, Sewell ended his life, 2024. February 28th, 2024, Sewell ended his life. Today, Megan Garcia, Sewell's mother, filed her lawsuit against Character AI, claiming that Character AI intentionally designed their product to be hypersexualized and knowingly marketed it to minors.
Sheesh.
Character AI put out a response that says, we are heartbroken by the tragic loss of one of our users and want to express our deepest condolences to the family. As a company, we take the safety of our users very seriously, and we're continuing to add new safety features that you can read about here. I thought this was a very interesting case.
It is.
I did.
Doesn't sound very convincing.
It's a hard one.
I'm suing too if that happened to my kid. Are y'all not? I start with that. If that happens to your child, are you taking action against the company?
1,000%.
Of course you are, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You sound like yours.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't do that.
I don't know if I do.
Because I would be looking internally at the part that I played in that and looking for my own accountability as opposed to blaming it on the company.
Well,
That's
let me read something in addition to what he said. His parents tried to help him with therapy sessions. Just days before his death, his parents took away his phone after he misbehaved at school, which led to Sewell's desperate attempts to reach AI through other devices. So, like, what do you do as a parent when it seems like your kids have an addiction to, you know, social media, AI, and their electronic devices? Like, I don't know, but it seems like you guys are in a really tough spot.
I think the problem is deeper than that. I think if your kid is going to that for consoling, I think the problem is something different. That's my personal opinion.
But the thing is that, you know, it says that his parents took him to go to therapy. So listen, we all know about teenage angst. We all know about teenage anxiety and depression. It's probably a lot worse than it was in our day. But it seems like his parents were proactive in trying to figure out a way, you know, a workaround this particular situation by taking him to therapy and removing the devices. But
how proactive were they prior to the weeks leading up to this? Because he could have got addicted to that from their lack of not paying him attention, their lack of them influencing him. Like, yo, no, maybe you should go outside, go to, like, so I don't see how you can, and from Joe reading the text out loud, the bot isn't saying about you should do it. It doesn't at all sound convincing. It's trying to discourage him more or less. So I feel like It's a hard thing. I'm not a parent, but from all that's placed out right there, I wouldn't do that. You have to look inward and be like,
That's what I'm saying.
What did I do as a parent? How did I feel my child?
I wouldn't place the blame on our company. I would be literally distraught right now thinking about what I did.
I don't know if suing means placing the blame.
Yeah.
When you are suing them, you've held them in.
You're complicit. You play a part in. That don't exonerate them from any blame. I'm assuming that these are parents like normal parents that don't want to see their kid die.
Of course.
Right? I also believe that if someone wants to self-transition, there's nothing that
hard
anybody else can do to stop that. I'm operating under those two beliefs. So with that said, I'm assuming that they tried everything from long before, maybe the year before, years before. Then you know when your kid is troubled, you're trying some shit.
So let's just, because we got to be mad sensitive. So let's just say, go with that line, that my kid has been having some issues and some problems for 3 or 4 years. Let's say the boy started talking to, he was 14. So let's say that the boy started talking to, what is the name of the company?
Chatbot.
The Chatbot at 13. These issues already presented themselves prior to. So if that's the case, then I don't necessarily know how you can hold this particular company complicit for your kid self-transitioning.
Well, AI is relatively new. And so I think that, like what their response was in response to her lawsuit, that about safety protocols, et cetera, there is a possibility that they were not completely up to a standard of which they might get to now that this has happened. Understand it, because he read all the text, but then the last one saying, "Come home to me," was directly related to something that he said when he's talking about self-transitioning. So it's like AI is learning you.
The precursor is what we put in the front of the pod. Like, this pod is for entertainment purposes. And when Joe first started, he said that when you log on, it states that boom, 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 boom. I don't know. I don't have the exact verbiage that you said. When you first started reading, it said that when you log on, it says that.
Yeah, you know they put something there.
Yeah, the terms and conditions.
To protect us from these potential types of situations.
But if you're targeting minors.
Who said they're targeting?
She did. That's what
the
she
mom
did.
said.
In the suit. That's all I'm going by.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what. I'm not familiar with the company. But if the parent thinks that you're targeting minors, then
doesn't make
their
it true.
brain. Yeah, but their brains are not developed to a point where they have a full understanding of even your little obey the law paragraph.
Why would she not tell him?
Character.ai.
Let me ask you this.
Why wouldn't she tell him he can't use that?
Where does parent accountability come? It's a sensitive topic, but where does parent accountability come in with that? If you think this particular vice is targeting children in a negative way, then it's your job as a parent to potentially shut that down, put a block on it, or something.
You keep conflating what I'm saying. Hold up, Arts. I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that, but that's conflating two things. I don't think that this lawsuit says that this parent is not going to sleep with guilt every single night.
Okay.
I don't think because they're suing means that they don't take some responsibility
that could be true.
in what's going on.
That could be true.
They're not just passing the buck on AI.
That could be. The two things could be true.
But they also took his phone away, right? And he
a couple days before.
Yeah, but he tried his best to reach out to AI through other people and other devices. So when I hear the story, the AI said, "Don't do that," correct? Mm-hmm. So then now if you say coming home to you, maybe he's talking about to the house.
Yeah, like when you come home from school, whatever
yeah, like
the case
that. That's
may
how I took it when I heard that. Like once they took the phone away, he probably told the AI that I don't have my device. I'm reaching you from here,
from my friend's
and
house,
then
potentially.
Come home. That's how I took it.
That
you know what I
could be
mean?
true.
But
we have to take it differently when somebody transitions.
I got it. I
right?
understand.
Because I said the same thing. I'm like, come home with me ain't got to mean come home with me.
Yeah.
But now look. Now you are expecting AI to be developed and mature enough to establish what home means in context, and you talking about somebody, the human, needing to be mature enough to understand what is going on here, right? I take you back to the vape doc. Mm-hmm. The whole entire premise of the vape doc was you are specifically targeting this to children and they are getting hurt. The vape shit said all of the dangers that come with it. None of that mattered because y'all are advertising to kids and they are getting killed. So that is the thing. And secondly, remember that case where Shorty was, she went to court, and I think she was found guilty. Y'all Google it yourselves. I'm not here for the facts. I'm not a journalist. Shorty that told her boyfriend to kill herself, and he did it. That was a big thing in the true crime world.
Yeah.
And she went to court and argued, I was never saying do that. But that changes when you did that, the context of whatever you were saying.
Or if you're in an argument with somebody and they be like, yo, go play in traffic, or yo, go kill yourself, you loser, and then somebody goes and does it, that might not have been your intent, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying there's been cases where, because the act was done, we have to look at the steps
hold you
prior
accountable.
under a different light, is all I'm saying.
But if I'm not mistaken, because I'm not familiar with AI all the way, isn't the whole process of AI to basically
Get to know you.
get to know you, but enable human behavior, conversation, XYZ? So it can be speaking from the guise of a parent. Like a parent would tell their kid or a friend or a sibling, like, come home. Like, I don't think.
See, and that's where I think the parents have a case. Mind you, I dropped out of school and I'm not an expert in any of this. But if it's me, right, and I feel like I've curated a household where my kid either feels comfortable enough to talk to me about some things, or he's in close enough proximity for me to see some things, and if there's some shit going on that I don't see fit, then I'm taking the phone, getting that out of here, right? So in the parent's mind, if the kid don't feel that bond with the AI, then I don't know what may happen, and I don't know how I may handle it. But my kid had a bond with this thing marketed to my kid, spoke to my kid, and though I went through every step to remove it, the same way I'm going to bed with this guilt every night, I'm holding your foot to the fire, too. And I'm not saying they'll win, but it's a very, very interesting case, and I think the first of its kind. I don't think this is the last time we hear about something
It's
like
not,
that.
but I think that we go in circles. I just don't think that you.
Well,
can
I'm done. I don't have
You
nothing
can't
else to
prove
say.
that I marketed it to your kid just because it's available. That don't mean I necessarily marketed
Usually
it.
when it's
Well, you
18
could
and over, there's a
usually-
warning label, and it will explicitly say.
we don't know.
Yeah,
if
but
it's
if you
not.
promote
You
it,
can prove
you
if somebody
could.
marketed
If
the
you-
kid. I don't know about this, because this case has to play out.
Like in the vape thing, like when you walk in the store, now they got cherry and grapes and all this bright colors. Somebody could say that plays on the senses of a child.
Well, they said that and they won.
Most
That's why I'm bringing
most
it up.
social media and stuff like that, you have to put in like an age. And yes, of course, you can lie. But if this thing didn't require any sort of age to sign up,
Then
I
that
can see that being
insinuates-
problematic.
Or
because
it could. Because again, we in the dark with some of the stuff.
For sure.
But marketing to kids is direct. When you walk in Target and they got the candy down there right at the checkout at 2 feet high.
Yeah.
It's consultants that get paid big bucks to do that shit. They tell you what product placement and all that shit is most effective. When you walk in Target and it's them little $2 toys right there, that's to catch your kid on the walk-in. They want to put that shit in the cart and play with them. All of that stuff is done on purpose, by design. With this particular thing, you have to prove that it's marketed to kids, not just a lady saying it. I'm not saying that it is or it's not, because we don't know.
How do you feel about it if they are able to prove that?
If they are able to,
Does it change your stance at all?
It changes my stance, because now you plan on a child that may not have the mental capacity to differentiate between the two.
All right, so you with me. All right, so you
get what
at
I'm
least
saying?
with me on the
I
thing.
feel like it's 50-50 still.
We unpacked it already. I'm not. It's over.
No, I wasn't going. I just feel like it's 50-50.
That nigga come right on the end with some shit. It's over. God damn it.
I wasn't going.
Neutral Budden.